Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in. I can't believe I am finally here. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. First of all, I'm your host Kai, and I can't thank you enough for tuning in, for real, because this is huge to me. I am so excited to share what I have to say with everybody. I have a blog, and I started this podcast on the basis of my blog. A lot of my subscribers have been asking me to create a podcast based on the content I have been creating. And as a person who is an avid podcast listener, I was like, you know what? It's not a bad idea to create a podcast. Like, that would be kind of cool. And I don't know. Here we are. So this space is necessary for me to embark on my journey towards self-discovery every day. My passions change, my interests change, I'm evolving. And so my journey towards self-discovery is always changing. I'm always like journaling, read my Bible, just doing different things to try to evolve myself and reach my full potential. And I don't know about anybody out there, but I am really committed to being my best self. And in 2020, I am going to own that year, like for real. So this podcast is just a piece of me stepping into owning myself and owning the best part of me. And if you are committed to that, you should be listening to this podcast every Sunday, period. That's just period. Okay. So today's topic is cuffing season, know your relations, and I actually wasn't going to go here for the first topic, but I took a poll on Twitter, and a lot of my subscribers were like, hey, this is what I want you to talk about. And so I'm like, okay, give the people what they want. So here we are, and I think this is actually a very good topic to talk about because I don't know about y'all, but 2019 has been the year of teaching me about relationships. Let me tell you, sis, brother, whoever's listening, let me tell you. Like, I had to cut off so many people. Like, it was just crazy how many people I had to cut off. Like, people who I was friends with for years, people who, like, I went to college with, my own dad. Like, everybody just had to get cut off. Everybody must go. And it's because I evolve as an entrepreneur, as I evolve as a professional woman, and I know what I want out of life, I had to get rid of people who didn't want to see me at my best self. And so I got rid of them, and they are doing well, maybe. I don't know. I haven't checked in to see how they're doing, and that's just not where I'm going to concern myself in this world anymore. I'm not going to concern myself with toxic relationships or anything like that. And so I got to know what I'm dealing with at all times so that I can persevere. I got to have bosses around me at all times, and that includes family, that includes boyfriends, that includes friends. Whoever you are, you got to be a boss, because that's the type of person I'm going to be. That's the type of person I am, period. So, really, I just wanted to ask anybody, like, have you looked in the mirror lately? And I don't mean like the real mirror. Of course we look in the mirror. Like, I look at myself every day, but I want to know, like, have you really looked within yourself and reflected on who you are and actually said, like, why are the relationships that I attract the way they are? Or why are the men that I attract the way they are? Or why are the friendships I have the way they are? Why? And recently, well, not recently, but like a few years ago, I was forced to ask myself that question because I had kept hitting this wall. You know, I was hitting this wall, and I kept meeting these same boys. Like, I can't even call them men because that's not what they were. They were boys. And I know y'all can relate, like, for real. Like, they were boys. And they kept on putting me through these god-awful things. And it's like, I didn't deserve that. But, like, I had to realize the role I played in all of that. And it was so crazy because when I took a step back, I realized that I played a role in my own pain. And that may be absurd to understand, but like, let's take a look at it. I had kept hopping from relationship to relationship because of my own unresolved issues within myself, and I kept allowing these men to treat me how they would treat me. And before I knew it, I look up and I'm with my long-term relationship out of high school, and we're at the end of our relationship. He had cheated on me 3 times, and here we are, he has a baby. And I was so hurt, and I'm like, why is this happening to me? Like, God, why are you putting me through this? But God is going to teach you the same lesson. He's going to spank that behind every single time until you learn, until you take a step back and say, it's not these people around me that's the problem. It's me and these unresolved issues that I have. It's me and this aura and energy that I'm attracting, that I'm presenting, to allow these men to come into my life and do whatever they do. Because I'm not setting boundaries. Because I don't have the expectations for them, or they're not at the expectations that I want them to be at. I'm picking people who are below my expectations and then upset when a relationship fails. How can you be mad if somebody's not ready to be where you want them to be? No, you got to pick the person who is already there. And so when I started to reflect and understand that and pray to God, I was like, oh, okay. This is why I kept on attracting these men, because I hadn't resolved these issues with my father, and I hadn't resolved these issues with my first ex-boyfriend, and I hadn't resolved these issues with my second ex-boyfriend. I just kept carrying this pain from relationship to relationship to relationship. And then with my friends, I was so desperate to want a sister. I was so desperate to want relationships with people that I would allow them to use me. I would allow them to use me with my money. I would allow them to use me with my time. I would allow them to use me with my space, just to get a little bit closer to people who they really wanted access to. Because I really didn't understand that they were using me. Because I urged for something that I was lacking within myself. And I realized, like, hey, Kai, you can't get that from anybody but you. And so the whole point in this whole cuffing season topic is, yes, to talk about these boys, but also, first off, can't have any healthy relationship without having a healthy relationship with yourself. And so before I move on to these boys, I want to let you know how to just start creating a healthy relationship with yourself. Tip 1, read your Bible. You got to be in touch with something, and that something for me is God. And so I'm reading my Bible and being grounded in the Word so I can be unshakable in my faith. And can't nobody move me or tell me how to be loved, because God told me how I'm supposed to be loved. Tip 2, journal. Tell your journal, not your friends, not your man, not your family, how you feel. Because when you start to write it out, those feelings won't be dormant in your spirit anymore. And then you can't have all that input on what you feeling and how they feeling. And no. You need to intrinsically reflect on what is going on within you and find that solution within yourself and with God. Tip 3, find comfort in being alone. It is okay to take yourself out on a date from time to time. It is okay to go outside and exercise by yourself in a safe environment, of course. Of course, always take your maces, okay? It is okay to just enjoy being with you. Like, even when you're in a relationship, I have a boyfriend that I live with, and I still have enjoyment within being alone. Today, I went to go get a massage all by myself. Later on, I'm going to a vision board party with my friends, and these are the things that you have to find so that you can know what you need out of this lifetime. Period. Number 4, Find healing between relationships, whether it's a friendship that you cut off. Don't just be on the next bandwagon to fill it up with another friend. If it's a boyfriend that you cut off, make sure that you are really off of that person before you move on to the next, because that can carry a whole lot of baggage itself. Like, that next person doesn't deserve those unresolved feelings you have for your ex at all. So make sure that's clear before you move on to the next one, because you're going to stir a whole pot for yourself and you're going to be mad at yourself. So don't even create those problems. Now, let's get to talking about these little boys. Now, you know it's getting cold out, and these boys going to be frosty. They're going to be in your DMs, trying to catch a meal, trying to Netflix and chill, trying to pull up and do whatever. But no, sis, you are not the pull up. This is not McDonald's. This is not Burger King. They cannot have it their way. So tell these men that you need to be taken out on a date. Period. That's what the expression is for the rest of 2019 and all 2020. Take me out on a date, please. No pull-up 2020. The pull-up is only occurring once you pull up to pick me up, opening the car door and taking me to wherever I want to go. And that's just it. And so make sure that you are requiring the most from these men. Remember what I said about not meeting these men at their expectations, but finding men that are at your expectations? That's what you got to do. So that's number one. You're asking and requiring more from these men. Number two, you are setting boundaries with these men. You cannot text my phone after 10 p.m. Sir, sorry, I'm busy. I'm asleep. Good night. Don't text me after 10 p.m. Set boundaries. You cannot touch me below my bra strap. You cannot kiss me on the first date. No, you cannot come up for a nightcap. Set boundaries. Look for genuine support. That is, like, very important. Like, if nobody's supporting you, if they're not supporting you, sis, cut them off. Bye. Skate. See you later. I don't need you here. Support is important, because if they're not supporting you, they don't really want to see you win. How they want to see you win if they... How? Answer that. They don't. So cut it off. Be realistic. Don't sit up there and make up this dream person in your head. Don't fall in love with potential. Be realistic with what that person is or who that person is. And when they show you, run. Don't stay there, because you're going to find comfort in that zone. Hey, it's going to be a hell of a lot of trouble to get out of there. Trust. I know. Believe actions, not words. Oh my God, sis. When I tell you, like, this is like how I could have avoided like 5 or 6. I know you can relate. Come on now. Tell me you couldn't have avoided 5 or 6 heartbreaks if you would have believed actions, not words. Like, of course, they were saying all of the right things, but were they showing you the right things? Were they pulling up with the flowers? Were they calling you consistently? Were they showing their interest? Were they supporting you? No, they weren't. So if they're not, believe them the first time and bounce. That's it. That's all. Be vocal about your wants and needs. That is the last point, but the most important. Be vocal about your wants and needs. These men are not mind readers. They are not smart enough to read our minds at all. Like, I wish that was possible, but it's not. So you got to be vocal. You got to tell them what you want, tell them what you need. And if they're not willing to meet that, you need to move on to the next person. And that's it. Like, it's no questions about it. You can't meet my expectations, so bye. See ya. That's it. So those are my tips on these little boys. Don't get no little boy. Get you a man. Set the boundaries. Look for genuine support. Be realistic, believe actions, not words, and vocalize your needs. And if they checking off on all of those, sis, keep them. All right, I think I'm going to stop right there before I get too deep. Make sure you stay tuned next Sunday. I'm your host, Kai. This is the Getting to Know Yourself podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you back with us next Sunday. Bye.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.